Hello, all my JavaScript friends. This is TheVirtuoid, aka Mike Smith, and this is our snake game. So we've talked about vectors and we've talked about the head. Now let's talk about the body. But before we can talk about a body, we need to talk about what makes up the body. And what makes up the body are the different segments. So you have the head and you have the body of the snake, but within the snake itself, you have the different segments. And each segment itself can have a position and a direction in which you can go. Because as you know, if you watch a snake upon the, slither along, not every single piece of the body goes along with the head. One piece may be going to the left, or another piece is going to the right, another piece going to the left, another piece is following the head. So it gives that little slither motion. That's why each particular body is split up into different segments. So what we're going to take a look at today is going to be the segment class. Again, as we have with all of our different classes, we have a design document, and this design document is very, very, very simple. We have a position, a direction, and an ID. And our public properties are going to be position, direction, ID, and segments. And we just have a couple of very simple methods because the segment itself is very, very simple. We're going to be able to move the segment. Just like we had to move the head, we're going to need to move the segment itself. We're going to need to change the direction of the segment because, as the snake moves along, the segment that is furthest back from or closest to the tail always inherits the segment that is is the next segment that's closer to the head. And also, they'll also have to get the projected position, which is another routine to be able to tell us, this is where I think the segment's going to be, so you might want to check for collisions or anything like that. And that's used a lot by the body and a lot by the snake to figure out, whoop, I've collided with myself, or I've collided with a wall or a prize or so on and so forth. Especially if I'm regenerating a new prize, I don't want a prize to appear right on top of the body of the snake, so I need to get a projected position of the segment itself. So let's take a look at the code. And the code is extraordinarily simple. And again, we're doing a constructor. We got position, direction, and ID. And when checking to make sure each one of them is a vector, and again, not a vector 2D or a vector 3D, just a simple vector. It's up to the game to tell us what vectors we're using, not up to us. All we care about is to make sure that the vector has a clone method in this particular example. We're going to return the position or direction and the ID that will allow us to be able to have read-only variables there. I'm not going to go into what read-only means in JavaScript. You can figure that part out. When we move, we get the projected position and we save it to the position. Now, if you took a look at our head system, we sat there and sent out an event saying that the snake had moved. Why do we not do that here? And the reason we don't do that here is that the segment is part of the snake. The head is what is actually physically moving the snake. And once that has moved, we need to tell it that the snake has moved. The segments basically are just part of an old head position, if you want to put it that way. And, we already know that movement is going to be safe. So there's no need to tell it for each and every single segment that something has moved. If we're going to get into a 3D or 4D environment, we could have hundreds of segments. I don't want to sit there and set hundreds of events every time it moves 60 times a second. We're going to end up with 6,000. Was that 600 times 60? Yeah, that's 6,000 different events within the space of a second. That's just ridiculous. So we don't send events out when a segment moves. If we change direction, we just change the direction itself. And the projected position, basically we take the speed and we create a vector with the speed in all the different positions. So for a 3D one, for example, the X value will be speed, the Y value will be speed, and the Z value will be speed. And we multiply that by the direction to be able to get what is our new offset. So for example, if our direction in a 2D environment was to the west, that would be an X of -1 and a Y of 0. And so and if our speed is 2, we'll end up with an X of -2 and a Y of 0, which means that we're going to be moving 2 to the left. And then all we have to do is just return the position, add to with the adder, and we're done. And that's all there really is to the segment. This is extraordinarily easy. Yeah. Now, so what about segments? Well, the reason we don't have segments is we ended up not needing it. I thought I might need it when I did the design document, ended up not needing it. I need to take that out. Designs are fluid. Sometimes you think of the design, and once you start coding it, you think, oh, no, okay, that really was a stupid idea. Get rid of it. And I just haven't gotten rid of it yet. But that's really all there is to a segment. It's extraordinarily simple. All it really has is a position and a direction. It reports itself back to the body, which will be our next video. Thanks for watching. Subscribe to this channel to view more videos. Click on the like button on this video and visit us at TheVirtuoid.com. Also, support us on Patreon, where you can get access to member-only videos. Links are down below. Again, thank you very much for watching, and keep on coding.